Welcome everybody. I'm here from EdChanger to present our webinar for the practice of targeted support. At EdChanger, our mission is to scale and sustain instructional systems because while public education in America isn't failing, and it's due to our resilient educators, it often feels like a crisis. This crisis is repairable, but we must move beyond quick fixes and initiative fatigue to focus on building and maintaining systems over time. Our motto is systems equals hope because hope is not a strategy. It comes from having a logical next step. Coherent systems always provide that logical next step, like our system of practices. For example, if my class feels contentious, I should build community and relationships. If it feels chaotic, I can install routines or reteach expectations. If it feels dull, I can increase opportunities to respond or student talk time. And that brings us to our next practice of targeted support strategies. And we define that as a first wave of classroom intervention to support students who need targeted support. The role of targeted support in a classroom is critical. While working as an MTSS coach, I saw firsthand how small instructional adjustments often made the biggest impact. Sometimes teams created complex behavior intervention plans or behavior support plans with little success, only to have a teacher implement a simple strategy that's changed a student's trajectory. This highlights two key lessons. We need to follow the systems. Students should receive Tier 1 instruction, then a first wave of Tier 2 support within the classroom, followed by Tier 2 specialist intervention if needed. We don't have the resources to provide intensive interventions unnecessarily. We also need to avoid over-supporting students. Providing more assistance than necessary can create dependence and entitlement instead of resilience. It's important to amplify base practices first. Teachers have a lot on their plates. Interventions must be simple enough to implement in the moment without adding excessive burden. Refining existing practices, such as routines, feedback, and engagement techniques, can often meet student needs without extra layers of intervention. Unaddressed needs lead to escalation, so we want to prevent that. That's why teachers need a toolbox of strategies. On the EdChanger Hub, each practice includes 20 to 30 targeted support strategies for different situations. An example of that is, I once worked with a student who had severe anxiety and would escalate if they raised their hand and went unnoticed. A simple solution? Giving them a 90-second timer when they needed help. The teacher promised to respond before the timer ran out. This intervention eliminated any future hand-raising escalations. Choosing effective support strategies is also critical. Understanding the root cause of a student's challenge is key to choosing the right intervention. The more proactive and intentional the strategy, the better. Anxiety-driven behaviors could rely on providing predictability, like a timer or visual cue, to reduce stress. Attention-seeking behaviors, you can incorporate positive attention opportunities to help meet the student's needs before they act out. Cognitive or behavioral disabilities, a small environmental instructional adjustment can prevent disengagement. And again, on the EdChanger Hub, we have a targeted support strategies document with 20 to 30 strategies per practice. And the EdChanger difference is very clearly to provide structured support systems so teachers can adjust and refine. So for targeted support, we're simply going to amplify these base practices, making it simple enough for teachers to do in the moment. And so I'll always close with systems equals hope. In the quote, an intense behavior can sometimes be resolved with a simple intervention, can provide hope for all educators, knowing that sometimes a small move that doesn't take a significant intervention is all that a student needs. And so next step would be diving into our targeted support strategies document and looking at what types of moves could support your students, continuing to monitor different practices, or referring back to the EdChanger Hub and choosing the next logical step for you. And again, we're going to be looking at, in this targeted support strategies document, students impacted by trauma, students with cognitive or behavioral disabilities, students with anxiety or panic disorders. There's strategies for all of those students. And we would like to think that that provides some hope. And remember, your next logical step could always be going to edchanger.com and subscribing to our app. For less than $3.50 per month, you're going to have access to all of our resource frameworks for all of our practices, slideshows to teach teachers all of our instructional content, and access to all of our apps' games to monitor instructional practices and provide coaching resources for growth. That Moneyball approach to instruction, where we're using data and analytics and then supporting with high quality resources to make teachers agents of their own learning, is our EdChanger difference. Again, we at EdChanger are committed to building sustainable systems for educators. Thank you for your dedication for your students and communities. We appreciate you.